Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another episode review. And be a couple days late though, but still, like I said, whenever I try to do episode reviews, it's on the day of though. But like I said, busy. So, but I'm reviewing a series that has been getting a lot of buzz about, and a lot of people were liking the show quite a bit, And that is of course of Dandadan. That's what it was called, Dandadan. And like people, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first episode. I like the style of animation. I think it's from the same studio. The style of animation, I think it's from the same studio that did Devilman Crybaby. I believe so. Which I know of Devilman Crybaby. I do know of that series though, but I have not fully watched that series though because I think of how the way it ends, I'm like, really? But I think it's from the same studio that did the animation for Devilman's Crybaby for this series. So Dan, a lot of people were very excited for this series, and you know what? They're right. I really enjoyed it as well. And I think it's some of the stuff it goes with is just complete bonkers, But you know what? These two characters, I like them. I do, and I think some, and if on a horror status, I think some fans, like I was reading an article from Cinema Blend, which I read. I go on their sites a lot for like movie news and stuff, right? This one I was reading is like Dandadan is one of 2024's biggest anime releases, and it's a must watch for fans of body horror and the X-Files. It's funny how they mention the X-Files, because hey, I'm an X-Files fan. I love the X-Files, so that's cool, But as for the series, okay, well, how it opens, we got these two students, right? We opens up with our first main character name. Her name is Momo. First course I think of Momo from My Hero Academia. But Momo, she's being harassed by this guy that I think she was kind of dating, but she rejected him because he wanted to do some other things. So, but she is popular among the class, and she wants to date a guy who's like a Ken. I forgot what the last name is, Ken something. She wants to date this type of guy who is like a Ken, whoever, And so then we meet with she sees a kid in another class being harassed because they're throwing like just paper balls at him, crumpling paper up, just throwing at him, right? Because he's reading his magazine. So she kind of just sits there next to him, and then they all just stop and they just look away. And of course, I think the guy, which turns out is actually turns out his name is the exact same name as what Momo is describing for a guy she wants to go out with. But he doesn't tell his name is until the end of the episode though. But I was calling by his name Ken, which that's what his name is. So he kind of takes that indication what she did, like, oh, she kind of likes him, And so, and the turns of the two of them, they both have kind of something in common. They each believe in their own thing, but they don't believe in the other, right? Like with Ken, he believes in UFOs, he believes in aliens, but Momo doesn't believe in that though. But she believes in ghosts and spirits, and which Ken does not believe in that. Then, so they both believe in their own things, but they just don't believe in the other, right? He believes in ghosts. Wait, no, she believes in ghosts. He believes in aliens. Neither one don't believe either one exists. So they kind of make this bet. So, okay, let's prove it. Which one see either one exists, right? So Momo goes to like this abandoned hospital where Ken thinks there are supposedly aliens are supposed to be loitering around there, and while Ken goes to explore this creepy tunnel where ghosts and spirits are supposed to be, well, particularly what she calls the Turbo Granny, So, and of course, each one of them do believe in the other now because, okay, with with Goken, like, talking on the phone on the other end with Momo, right? And with the animation, I do like this. I like this particular animation. I think the studio did a good job with this style of animation. Like, also, like, a good piece of it, like, where Ken's with his flashlight in the dark in the tunnel, and I like the way he's rotating and it goes all the way around the tunnel, right? I think that's for what reason. I think that was pretty good animation, and so until eventually he encounters this figure in the middle of the tunnel, and it turns out it's actually the Turbo Granny. So he runs, and and when Momo, she encounters these three identical beings, and they abduct her, they tear her clothes off, and so what they want is that this is where some of the bonker stuff goes, right? Like, one of them pulls out, like, their metal jock, you can say, their metal junk, kind of like one of those probes, right? Because it comes out like it's a long metal junk, you know, and they want to do it with her, right? And saying also, not only that though, we want your banana. I'm like, what? I'm like, you want to do, but also they want your banana as well. I'm like, what? And so she's like, no, you ain't doing that, you know. My chassis is sacred and all that. Oh, you know, I'll save it with one person I like, you know. I want to do it with a Ken Tsurugi, whatever his last name was, right? And then with going back with Ken, he's running from the Turbo Granny, and so he gets possessed. This is kind of like does the body horror, like the X-Files type thing. That's what they mentioned, right? X-Files, right? Or, well, X-Files is more on the alien stuff too. So, but Momo's phone gets a call. One of those aliens pick up, and he gets just transports right through their phone and does like a to one of them. And it turns out with the Turbo Granny, it's possessed him. But the thing is, what more gets whacked out as it is, which made me like go like, what? The Turbo Granny wants what? That's what it's like. It wants what? It wants his weenie. He wants his dick. That's what it was. The spirit wants his dick, his weenie. I'm like, when I heard that, I'm like. First with the aliens, they want to do it with Momo, and now the spirit wants possesses his dick. It wants his dick. I'm like, my ball was like, at this point I was like, what is going on right now, you know? So yeah, it's like, it wants his what? So then the aliens grew their true form, and also with the whole thing that before that they tried to produce some like telekinesis power on Momo because try to get her aroused, her body temperature up, right? But she was kind of like resistant because of the spiritual thing that she does with her grandma, who's a shrine priestess or spiritual one of those spirit mediators. Of course, it shows back when she was supposed to do like this, for spirits or whatever. Of course, it shows back when she was a little kid. Kids teased her because, oh, look at that, she's dumb. She's doing this. What a weirdo, a loser. They made fun of her for doing that though, and she kind of resented her grandma because of that weird ritual thing. She got made fun of though. It says saying I hate you, Granny. I hate that. Leave me alone. But it does turn out that spiritual thing did actually save her. So she breaks free of her restraints and starts kicking some butt, and then they crash, which leads one leads to another. Actually, they're inside the UFO ship, actually crash landing. So, and then Ken, he's back to normal, and so they're walking. Of course, the guy is being nice, gives her his school jacket, because she's almost naked, so just doing the kind thing to give her a jacket. To hey, even trying to give her her shirt and pants. So, hey, please put on some clothes, being polite, So, and so now that they believe in each other's beliefs, now they believe that both aliens and ghosts exist, and she was saying why she wanted to date the type of certain guy, but and it turns out he says, "Hey, I never got your name. What's your name?" And it turns out it's the exact same name that she's wanting, the type of guy she wanted to date. It's the exact same name. And then it's like when he says his name, her mind is basically gets blown because, well, the UFO explodes right behind her. It kind of resembles of her mind got blown, because that's the exact same name she's been talking about, been obsessing over. So when the UFO explodes, it's kind of like the way her mind just got blown, mind blown. So, but yeah, Dandadan, I really enjoy it. I'm like, after watching this, I'm like, you know what? Bring on episode 2, I'm ready, I'm ready for what these two are. I can tell from what these two, I can tell these two are going to be, eventually maybe later down on the episode, they'll probably have feelings for each other, I can already see it right away, so they'll probably have that chemistry later on. I can see the chemistry right now, but as being friends right now, but later on being more than just friends, So, but I really enjoy these two characters, Ken and Momo, and just the whole thing. Now what are they gonna do? Now that the Turbo Granny has possessed his dingling, his ding dong, I'm like, he wants his what? That just kind of made me just like, oh boy. I'm already in for another wild ride of a series, I already am. I mean, it was wild enough that I got through the first episode of the disturbing creepiness of Uzumaki, the first episode, Because, well, the thing is, that's definitely more horror, and it's more disturbing to watch. Just the whole thing with the whole spiral madness, it's just like creepy and disturbing. But here, that's wild on its own, so here I guess I'm gonna be watching another great wild series, so hey, a lot of people were excited to watch this show, and you know what? I don't blame them, and I really am too excited to watch this show as well. So that's so I'll definitely be covering this series. So I think the episode came out on Thursday, so that's why I'm a couple of days late though, because like I said, I'm busy doing other things. So. But yeah, I always try to do the episode reviews on the day of when they come out, though. So whenever I can. So, but yeah, Dan, I really enjoyed it. First episode 1, I did. Same with the first episode of Uzumaki. I can't wait to see more of these. And then after this is the episode finale of season 2 of Oshinoko, which I'm looking for, which they delayed it from last week. So, well, it was supposed to be the Wednesday, but they moved it to a Sunday, so I can't wait to see the season 2 finale of Oshinoko. That's going to be next, so, but then we'll go from there, though. But yeah, episode 1 of Dandadan, really enjoyed it. It was another whacked out series, so it's going to be another good body horror and comedy as well, definitely. So, yeah, but thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more for the season 2 finale of Oshinoko, and we'll see you on the next video. Later.